Joe was standing next to a shiny car under those bright dealership lights that make everything look like a movie scene. The paint is perfect, the seats still have that new car smell. The dashboard lights up like a spaceship when he presses the start button. For a second, he just sits there, gripping the steering wheel, imagining himself driving to work, pulling into parking spots a little straighter, feeling a little more put together. The salesperson leans in through the open door and says, "So what do you want your monthly payment to be?" And that question right there feels harmless, practical, adult. Joe isn't thinking about the total cost. He's not thinking about interest, depreciation, or how long this payment might quietly follow him around. He's just trying to land on a number that doesn't feel painful, a number that fits into the life he already has. Because in his head, this isn't a huge financial decision. It's just a car, just transportation, just something reliable so life runs smoothly. You've been in that moment too, haven't you? You weren't trying to impress anyone. You weren't trying to be reckless. You just wanted something dependable, something that made your daily routine a little easier, a little more comfortable. And when the numbers got broken down into monthly pieces, it all felt reasonable. But here's the strange part. Joe could drive away in that exact same car, same color, same engine, same everything. And depending on one choice buried in the paperwork, his financial future could go in completely different directions. One path keeps him in car payments almost forever. One path slowly drains money he never notices leaving. And one path quietly gives his future self breathing room he didn't even know he needed. And I don't know, maybe I think about moments like this more than most people should. My name's William, and I spend a lot of time noticing how everyday money decisions don't feel big when we make them, but end up shaping years of our lives. And the wild thing is, at the time, all three options feel smart, responsible, normal. That's what makes this such a powerful fork in the road. The illusion of just a car payment. You told yourself, it's just $450 a month. That's manageable. That's how it always starts. Not with a disaster, with a number that feels fine. Joe didn't walk into the dealership planning to sabotage his finances. He walked in thinking like you did. I need something safe, reliable, not too old, not too expensive. Totally reasonable. But here's what your brain does. It shrinks a massive purchase into a monthly subscription. You don't think, I'm spending $32,000. You think, I'm spending $468. That mental trick is powerful and expensive. Tiny example. Joe picks a $468 payment for 6 years. That's $33,696 total. The car is worth maybe $12 to $15K at the end. And it didn't feel dramatic. It felt adult. There's research from the Federal Reserve showing the average auto loan for new cars now stretches beyond 5 years, with many over 6 years. Longer terms mean lower monthly pain, but way higher total cost. You feel relief now, you pay for it later. You didn't buy a car, you bought a long-term bill. Same car, 3 futures. Here's where it gets interesting. Joe is looking at the same $28,000 car. 3 options. Option 1, lease. Lower monthly payment, new car every few years, always under warranty. Sounds clean, predictable. Option 2, long loan, 6 to 7 years. He owns it eventually. Payment feels reasonable. Dealership says this is what most people do. Option 3, buy used, short loan, cash plus a smaller loan. Higher payment at first, or a less shiny car, less exciting, slight ego bruise. Same car category, 3 completely different financial trajectories. But emotionally, lease and long loan feel like upgrades. The responsible-looking used option feels like settling. You didn't realize you were choosing between comfort now and freedom later. Leasing, the treadmill you don't notice. Leasing feels safe. Joe liked that. Lower payment, no repair surprises, just swap cars every 3 years.
But here's the catch nobody highlights. You're permanently renting your lifestyle. Joe leases at $399 a month. So, $399 times 36 equals $14,364. Hands car back, starts again. After 9 years, Joe has spent over $43,000 and owns nothing. It never feels like a big hit because it resets every few years, like financial amnesia. Experience automotive data shows leasing has grown significantly over the last decade, especially for newer vehicles. Why? Lower monthly payment. That's what people shop by. You weren't choosing a car, you were choosing a permanent payment cycle. The long loan trap. Joe's friends said, "Don't lease, at least own something." Sounds smart, right? So Joe picks a 72-month loan. Payment stays comfy, but long loans do something sneaky. They keep you upside down longer, meaning you owe more than the car is worth. According to Edmunds, a large percentage of trade-ins involve negative equity. People roll old car debt into new loans. That's how someone ends up paying for 3 cars while driving 1. Example, Joe owes $18K, car worth $13K, rolls $5K into next loan. Debt snowball, quiet, normal, crushing. You thought you were building ownership. You were building baggage.
Why this feels so normal. Here's the emotional truth. Cars are tied to identity, safety, status, comfort. You use them daily, so stretching feels justified. You told yourself, I commute every day. I deserve something nice. I'll keep it a long time. Totally human thoughts. But a study from AAA found the average annual cost of owning a new vehicle is over $10,000 per year when you factor in depreciation, fuel, insurance, maintenance, and financing. Most people don't feel that number. They just feel the monthly payment. That disconnect is where wealth leaks. You didn't notice the pattern forming because everyone around you normalized it. The wealth-building version nobody brags about. Now let's look at the less sexy option Joe almost skipped. Slightly used car, maybe 2-3 years old, shorter loan, or a big down payment to shrink the loan. Higher payment for a shorter time, then no payment. Let's take an example. Joe pays $550 a month for 36 months, then $0 for the next 5 years. That freed up $550 invested monthly at 8% equals over $40K. Same transportation, totally different financial future. This is where people say, yeah, but William, I want to enjoy my life now. Fair point, but here's the thing. Freedom later buys way more enjoyment than leather seats today. The real cost isn't the car. It's what the payment replaces. That $450 to $600 a month could have been investments, emergency fund growth, killing debt, buying time. Instead, it became background noise, like Netflix, but 10 times the price, and you didn't even feel it happening. Joe didn't ruin his finances with one decision. He just accepted a payment that stayed in his life longer than it should have. That's how wealth gets delayed, not destroyed, just postponed.
So yeah, same car, 3 choices, 3 futures. One keeps you in a cycle of payments that always feel manageable but somehow never end. One slowly buries you in rolling debt you didn't even mean to create. And one, the quieter, less flashy one, quietly gives your future self breathing room most people don't realize they're missing. And the hard part is, when you're standing in that dealership, all 3 feel responsible. All 3 feel adult. None of them feel like a mistake in the moment. You weren't trying to sabotage your future. You weren't trying to be reckless. You just wanted something reliable so your life runs smoothly. That's it. You're not bad with money for wanting a dependable car. You're human. You've got places to be. You've got responsibilities. You've got enough stress already. Of course, the lower monthly payment feels comforting. But here's the quiet shift I hope sticks with you. Every car decision is secretly a time decision, Because what you're really choosing isn't just transportation, you're choosing how long a piece of your monthly income stays spoken for. You're choosing how many years your future self wakes up with less flexibility, less margin, less room to breathe. And yeah, I know you might be thinking right now, William, it's just a car, it's not that deep. Fair point. But zoom out for a second. If a payment follows you for 6, 7, sometimes 8 years, that's not a small decision anymore. That's a season of your life. That's years where investing could have been happening. Years where your emergency fund could have grown faster. Years where your money could have been quietly building options instead of just maintaining comfort. And the wild part is, most people never connect the dots. They just know money always feels a little tight. Raises don't seem to stretch very far. The finish line keeps moving. Not because they made one catastrophic mistake, but because of a handful of perfectly normal decisions that stacked up over time. So no, this isn't about never enjoying your car. It's not about driving something miserable just to prove a point. It's about awareness. It's about realizing that the structure of the deal often matters more than the badge on the hood. Because once you start seeing car decisions as wealth decisions, you pause a little longer in those quiet moments. You run the numbers a second time. You start asking different questions than most people in that showroom. And slowly, almost quietly, your financial life starts to feel different. Not overnight, not dramatically, just lighter, more flexible, more under your control. And once you start seeing car decisions as wealth decisions, you don't just drive differently, you live differently. And hey, if this made you look at car payments a little differently, that was the goal. If you enjoy calm, honest breakdowns of how everyday money decisions quietly shape your future, make sure you hit subscribe. I post regularly about the psychology behind money, investing, and the small habits that actually move your net worth over time. And I'm curious, which option have you taken before? Lease, long loan, or buy smarter? Drop it in the comments. I read more of them than you probably think. All right, appreciate you being here. I'll see you in the next one.